Hey guys, Brian Hilliard here, author of the best-selling book, Networking Like a Pro, and I gotta tell you, I am fired up here today because we are gonna be able to talk about 5 simple steps to help you turn social media into more discovery cards. As you can see, I've got some notes here jotted down, and this is going to be really good because I don't know about you guys, but for a lot of folks, the idea of being able to turn social media into actual bottom line paying clients, like from a coaching perspective, is elusive to say the least. You know, I've talked with people, excuse me, I've talked to people and kind of gone through this idea of like, geez, you know, I feel like I'm doing all of this activity. I feel like I'm doing all these commenting and I'm liking and I'm posting and I'm doing all of these things, but it's like, what can I do to actually turn some of this stuff into bottom line, honest to goodness, paying coaching clients? Because while I like doing it, while I like getting out there, while I like being, aware and visible and stuff like that, and people more aware of me, the likes, what I tell people is the likes, comments, and hand claps aren't going to pay the mortgage. So what we're going to do is we're going to be able to talk about 5 actual simple steps that you can take to turn social media engagement into more discovery calls, because that is the name of the game. And by the way, if you haven't seen yet, I actually have a new resource. I call it a video-based masterclass. And what we're going to be talking about is how to quickly turn your existing social media contacts into actual bottom line paying clients. All right. We talk about the 4 essential elements that you need to be successful. We talk about the top 5 ways that I use to actually quickly monetize this and be able to do this in a relatively easy fashion. It's the same process that I've personally used to get over $25,000 worth of client business over an 18-month period. It really is something that you might want to consider. Like I said, it's a video-based masterclass, which essentially means that we do some videos, we have some, discussion and some interaction. Go to practicebuilderblog.com/social, and we actually have some fast action bonuses and things like that you can take a look at. But let me jump in here real quick. First of all, the assumption, and I wrote this down because it's really important. The assumption when you're talking about turning these things into a discovery call is that you have already, engaged with this person. So let's say that you've invited them and they've connected to you, right? Or whatever. Okay, so you've invited them, they've connected, and then you're having a little good back and forth. So I teach it where you're asking some questions. However you want to get there is totally fine. I teach it where you're asking questions, but the assumption is that you've had a little bit of back and forth engagement, and now it's like, all right, how do I translate this good convo into an actual discovery call? All right, so that's the assumption. It's important to understand that. Okay, the first thing that you want to do is you want to be able to say that you understand their situation, and what I do is I actually use a mini problem story. Now, I actually have a specific example of what it is that I've done. You'll see I have it highlighted and whatnot. By the way, I will have this available. This is a template that I use. I will have this available as a fast action bonus if you decide to hop on in and pick up the resource. It's not a lot of money. One of the things I always tell people is, listen, if that resource can help you even get just one more paying coaching client, like, it pays for itself. So anyway, this little template here is going to be a fast action bonus item if you decide to want to be able to do that. Practicebuilderblog.com/social. Let me read this. First point, I understand your situation. All right, so remember, they've already made a point. So I said, gotcha, and that makes 100% sense. And to be honest, when I was really ramping things up in my practice, and even several years afterwards, I was like a chicken without a head, running around doing a bunch of things, and quite frankly, having a devil of a time getting a steady stream of clients who could actually afford my rates. I was talking with a person who was having some challenge. Okay, as a matter of fact, it got so bad that I actually had less than $20 in my checking account on 4 different occasions. That's the honest to God truth. Now, I don't know if you've experienced that before, but let me just say from firsthand, not very pleasant at all. It wasn't. So like I said, don't know if that's your situation. I'm hoping it's not as bad as I experienced, but sometimes people ask me for my thoughts on getting a steady stream of paying clients because, quite frankly, that prospect can sometimes seem overwhelming. That's section 1, okay? So you see right there, I understood their situation. I call that a mini problem story. Okay. The second step is to present a solution in as straightforward a manner as possible. And I can understand that. I've literally been there and done that. So I'll try to make it as straightforward as possible by breaking it down into a few core beliefs. Brian, why is that so important? It's important because people, like when they're working with you as a coach, okay, or potentially working with you as a coach, we have a lot of stuff that we can give people, and that's good and bad. I was actually talking with a prospective client. I'm not sure if she's going to be or not, but we were talking about this, and I was like, you want to make sure that you have what I call a clear, consistent marketing message. If you've been listening to the show or watching me online or come to a workshop or something like that, I'm a big proponent of a clear, consistent marketing message. And you need to be able to present it in a way, the way I do it is a few core beliefs. I believe everyone wants to buy, no one wants to be sold. I believe that the reason people want to buy is because they have problems in their lives that they're trying to solve. I believe that when a person sees another person, potentially you, being equipped to address and solve those problems, then they will literally flock to your door and want to learn more. And I believe that most coaches fall down in this regard, myself included when I was getting started, because I was focusing on coaching versus problem solving. Now, obviously, you're going to want to tailor this, but you see how we've lined this out? We've laid this out. First thing we said, I understand your situation. Great start. Second thing we said is I'll make this as straightforward as possible. Okay? Third thing, core beliefs, straightforward as possible. Third thing we do is then we say a few interesting things come up. All right. So when you pull all that together, you get a few interesting takeaways for getting a steady stream of clients. Number one, it's absolutely imperative to think of yourself as a problem solver. Number two, it's absolutely imperative to have a clear, consistent marketing message that adequately positions you as an expert in solving that problem or challenge that your constituency is facing. And number three, it's equally important to organize your service offerings in a way that makes it easy for people to buy from you. All right. And last but not least, it's absolutely imperative that you be able to attract folks who can afford your rates by putting these things and a few more into practice. Now, you see how I laid it out again? And notice these things and a few more. So I'm not saying, listen, this is not the end of the road. These are just a few things and a few more that you need to be looking at. I call that step 3, a few interesting things comes up. And this is when you're stating your points, you're telling them, where you're coming from, you're drawing some conclusions based off of your original premise, okay? Now, number 4, you start getting into the teaching, okay? Nothing wrong with that, because remember, you've had a little back and forth. Now, you might be thinking, well, Brian, it sounds like this message, and obviously this is a direct message, it sounds like this message might be getting a little bit long. It is. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. It's a long message. People read it, though. I get a 50 to 60% conversion rate from this message, based on the assumptions I already made, into a discovery call from someone who I've not met previously. But you have to keep in mind that you're going through some of this stuff. They will read it if they feel like you're adding value and if they feel like it's something that can help them with their situation. All right, so step 4, teaching points. All right, and then finally, step 5, this is about 5 simple steps to help you turn social media engagement into more discovery calls. You make your offer. Now, this is important. Here's exactly how I make my offer, okay? What I say, so I've already done the teaching. What I say is, and you know what? That's just one thing I noticed, and I actually have a few more that might be of benefit for you. And if you're open to it, how about we do this? How about we do a quick 15, 20-minute call just to chat, get to know each other professionally, and we just talk about your situation. And don't worry, it's not going to be a sales pitch or anything like that. Just a good, solid call, going over your situation, and I have no problems relating my insight as a coach over the past 15 plus years. Obviously, I can answer any questions you have and just see what's going on in your business/coaching world. So if that's something you're comfortable with, just let me know, and I'll shoot over some dates and times at work, and we'll go from there. Talk to you later. That's it. Now, if you unpack that, what did you hear? You heard that it's not going to be a sales pitch. That's important. I go with what I call the Texas two-step when it comes to getting clients from social, okay? I do not try to sell somebody, or I don't even think about it. So I don't try to make an offer to anybody at all on the first call. I don't. I think you can do that when you're having a presentation. I think you can do that if someone heard you speak. I think you can do that if you've met them physically while networking. But in social, in my experience, that's not been the case. So Texas two-step, I actually have 2 discovery calls. All right. After, this is just trying to get to that first one. Okay. And then what happens is you get to this first one right here from this here, and you tell them it's not going to be a pitch. It's only going to be 15, 20 minutes. Now, sometimes it goes longer. Usually mine go to like a half hour or whatever, but it's not going to be a pitch. It's not going to be a big deal. It's just listen, what is it that you need to be able to do? How is it that we can make you successful? And you just go from there. And I am telling you that this absolutely works. And the point that I was making to you earlier is that when you're trying to turn social media into actual paying customers or paying clients for your coaching practice, you have a couple of different groups that you can work with. You have the new people who you're just meeting, who you're just inviting and you're engaging, and that's fine, who you're having, some stuff. That's totally fine. But then you also have your existing contacts, people who are already in your network, people who are already looking and have known you and stuff like that. You can actually use this. I've personally used this for both new and existing, not verbatim, but you get the idea. This concept for both new and existing people. And I tell people, listen, I think the biggest underappreciated asset that most coaches have right now is their social media connections. Most coaches have 500, 1,000, maybe even 2,000, 3,000 folks, and they're not getting anything from them. And I'm like, listen, why is it that, we don't take a look at that? There is somebody right now, there's probably several somebodies right now, today, in your LinkedIn network, in your Facebook network, on your Facebook page, who have a problem that you can solve as a coach. Right now, I guarantee it. Okay? And my question is, why is it that we don't take a few steps in order to get them to raise their hand and be able to tell you a little bit about their situation, and then from there become obviously a paying client? And that's what we talk about during our resource. We talk about how to quickly turn your existing social media contacts into bottom line paying coaching clients. If that sounds like something that you'd like to be able to do, by all means, swing on by. You can go to practicebuilderblog.com/social. That is practicebuilderblog.com/social. We've actually got a little bit of a sale going on right now. It's a 40% sale, so that's not going to be a big deal. Get you in, get you out, and get you on your way. And like I said, as a fast action bonus, I am going to be including this script right here as a part of that. It'll be a part of the resource. Actually, it talks about building an audience and getting outside to your local network. All right, so that's what you've got. Hopefully that makes sense. My name is Brian Hilliard, saying so long, take care, and thanks so much for your time.